So just to give you a little background, I'm a Marine, and Cons is a former Army officer.
Oh man, well, I would from the bottom of my heart like to thank you both for your self-sacrifice and your continued service to this country. I'm just thank you.
We appreciate that. Thanks for your service too, Tim. So we'll go ahead and get
You're
started.
like,
You
this
ready?
guy's giving me a sarcastic prick. Yeah, I'm all ready.
All right, here we go. All right, now in Zero Block 30, we have MMA superstar. We have a Green Beret. We have Tim Kennedy. If you follow veterans on social media, you know Tim. He has a huge following. He's doing things all over the place, all around the world, and getting lovingly called a silverback gorilla by a lot of people as well. Tim, I have heard stories and pretty.
Can you be lovingly called that?
I think so.
I think so too.
Because it was Dakota Meyer who called you that. I was having some beers with Dakota, and he was like, "Tim's just a fucking silverback gorilla." And then I looked at you, and I was like, "Yeah, that fits."
That checks out.
So
Yeah.
thanks for joining us, Tim. Let's just jump right into it. Did you, because you're kind of a brash guy. Like, you're a rough and tumble dude. You're constantly rolling, still in the gym doing jujitsu, constantly shooting and training. Is this something that you were born with, to be just an aggressive guy?
Yeah, I mean, so my house is mixed up of, I mean, my dad was a narcotics officer of note that did some pretty incredible things, like stealing cocaine from Pablo Escobar, like a plane full of it, you know, shooting things to include bad people and their dogs. So, you know, pretty, like, this is back in the cool days of the war on drugs, which was pre the war on terror. We always seem to have a war on something, but so like that was just commonplace in my home, and I love it. I'm not good at anything else.
Yeah.
Like if I could crochet, or I could golf, or I could, like, you know, play basketball, or, you know, I could draw or play the piano or sing. I mean, I'm serious. If I could do anything else besides break things, that's what I would have done. But this is the only thing I can do. So.
And it legitimate seems like a daily passion. Like, one of your tweets just yesterday was, do what you want to do on Veterans Day. Go grab a free meal or fill up on your quota of thank you for your service. Me and my friends are going to be at the gym in the morning and planning all day, and we're going to be at the range training at night. That seems like a day-to-day thing for you.
Yeah, for sure. It's difficult to convey sarcasm. It is hard enough. Like, you guys pick up the phone, and obviously the first thing I say to you is sarcastic because I'm a prick.
Mm-hmm.
And it's even more difficult on social media, you know, where they're like, you can go to Applebee's or to, you know, Sizzler and Red Lobster, and you can get your free meal, and that's cool that people give that stuff away on Veterans Day. You know, when you guys enlisted or went through ROTC or whatever you spoiled brat over there did, we were never promised.
Tim, you can't see right now, but Chaps
Tim, you
is
have
smiling
no idea.
ear to ear.
He went to West Point. He's not even an ROTC guy. He's a West Point football player.
Oh,
the worst.
That's even more disgusting.
I know.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tim.
All right, I'll just be quiet.
You know, like, we didn't get you can get a free meal at Cracker Barrel once you get out of the military. You know, you could get a free dessert at whatever, or you get 10% off. Like, that was not included in the recruiter pitch for a good reason, because we don't deserve it, right? So when I tweet things like that, one, I'm being half serious. Like, for God's honest truth, right now I'm sitting here in Normatec compression boots trying to get the lactic acid out of my legs from what we just did in the gym, and then I'm working all day, and then I'm shooting tonight. So, like, that was all true. But the first part of the tweet was just pure sarcasm.
Right.
Being like, hey, guys and gals, why don't you go do something productive with this cool day? And, you know, you get to do whatever you want, but this is what I'm doing.
Was your transition something that you gave serious thought to, or was it something that you kind of just happened into?
Ooh, I mean, when I was 16, I'm down in the riverbed in Atascadero, California, to pick up a couple of girls from a party, and some dudes walk out with, you know, like chains, gangs of New York style, and we're about to throw down. Like, I'm 16 years old, and these, you know, like pipes and broken bottles, and the two hardest things were trying to hide the smile on my face, because I was like, hell yeah, we get to tumble, and then also not letting everyone see that I had an erection because it's going to destroy all these dudes. There was no question about the trajectory of my life, and there was no like tough decision. When I was coming out of college, when I was going to college, I was like, there's a serial killer named Rex Krebs in San Luis Obispo, California. That's what was happening when I was in grad school. I was walking the streets at night hoping that this serial killer would try to abduct me.
Yeah, dude. Give it to me. I fucking love it.
This is in grad school. Yeah. So, and then 9/11 happened, and it made it changed. At the time, that was the only evil I think that people knew was like Silence of the Lambs.
Right.
It's like where's Clarice Starling and Hannibal Lecter. Like that was the most evil that we understood. And then we saw some assholes fly some planes into some buildings, and we're like, oh, there's some different kinds of evil. And I also want to kill them.
Yeah, and I think that we've all had that. If you joined during this time or period, you have this "I wish a motherfucker would" syndrome. Like whenever you're walking around, like you get on a plane, you're in a bank, wherever, you're like, "I wish a motherfucker would" right now.
Yeah. So it's Veterans Day to everybody listening. Thank you for your service. But like for me and like the dude sitting next to me right now, like the thank you for your service, we're more like, wait a second, bitch, you're going to pay me to do this? I'm in. Like this is the coolest thing I've ever imagined in my life I could do was you're going to give me a gun, you're going to give me ammo, and you're going to pay me to jump out of planes. I mean, I was walking the streets for free trying to find a serial killer that might try to bury me, rape me, and skin me alive and wear my skin as a birthday suit for free. And now I get to go and, be an idiot overseas and you pay for my travel?
So when you're doing all this stuff, I like to envision, like I was talking to Connor earlier. So I imagine you're a new joint to your unit or to any unit that has a Tim Kennedy type in it. When a fat specialist from Texas walks into the unit and they see you as a sergeant first class, their first response is "son of a bitch." PT is going to be rough.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, listen, we need the West Pointers that like. You push your little spectacles up and you pull your tight jock strap. And
I love this.
You fix your bow tie and you start talking about, your military decision-making process. But do what you also need? You also need that dude that's been bumped down a grade a couple of times that, he got in a fight a few times as a private and he went from sergeant back down to PFC a couple of times. You also need that dude because when, like, the shit hits the fan, the spectacles and bow tie are helpful, but the dude that just likes to – like crack somebody in the face, he's also pretty handy.
Yeah, those instincts certainly come in handy. So then it was no doubt in your mind that once you joined the military, you were going to go that route of special forces?
I enlisted as an 18 X-ray. So I went from infantry school to special forces selection, from special forces selection to the Q course to an ODA. And then from, the ODA, I went to another unit and then was there for 6 years, and then came to the National Guard at 10 years. So, it's always been the same kind of desire to get in the mix.
Do you think that because you have such a big platform that you have like a responsibility to speak on behalf of veterans? Like, people come to you like, what are veterans, things like that? Do you feel like you owe that to anybody?
No. I try to do the right thing. I have friends, colleagues, and family members that all know what the right thing is, and if I deviate from the right thing, they will call me on it. I don't like my day-to-day activities or the things that I do or the things that I say, I don't do to make the veteran community proud. And I don't do them because I think they want me to do them. I do them because they're rad things to do, and they're the right thing to do. I don't drink and party and, get in scuffles on the streets and pull Conor McGregor things, because it gets me in the news or because I think it's awesome. I don't do those things because I don't think they're right. And, like the same reason I don't have alcohol sponsors or, dick enlargement pills is, that's not what I stand for. I stand for, I don't want to sound like a Boy Scout, I'm actually really cool. I'm way cooler than I sound right now.
I don't think you sound like a Boy Scout at all. And like, if people that follow your story know that you don't give the typical answer, because now it is like, we talk a lot about veterans getting mental health care, and you tackle it a completely different way. Like, you caught a lot of shit for a tweet that you had a couple years ago about people just stop being pussies with like PTSD and things like that. So you don't give like the normal answer, like for people who are in the limelight. Did you have any, after that backlash, did you have any regrets about saying what you did?
No, the don't be a pussy if you have PTSD is so often taken out of context.
Yeah.
And when we get near the holiday seasons, I say something similar. And that sentence alone sounds horrible. So I'm going to explain it so everybody understands. And it's along the lines of, we are the greatest generation of warriors that have ever walked the face of the planet. We have the most powerful military that this world has ever seen. And we do things that 100 years ago no one imagined possible. And we also knew what we were signing up for. You know, like we're a country at war. What I encourage people to do is take the hard route, the high road to self-help. You know, if you're like looking at a liquor bottle and a bunch of pills and you're fat and you're sitting on the couch, you haven't had sex, you haven't been sleeping, and you're complaining about you being depressed, I don't want to hear it. That's not how that works. You know, like, people have problems and people need to get things going. But like the things that I've seen and things that I've done, I have every excuse to be struggling with post-traumatic stress. But instead, these are the difficult choices I make, which is I don't drink. I exercise every day. I hang out with peers that I can talk to. I'm surrounded by a community of people that have shared experiences. I have an amazing family. I have sex with my wife. I get good night's sleep. I eat healthy food. And all of those things positively contribute to being able to deal with an extreme amount of stress. So what I'm telling people is, don't complain to me about like struggling with these things if you're not having even the initiative to do the work necessary to get through it.
Yeah, and I could see like having a whole body approach too, like, because we're big on make sure that you have like the support system, things like that, but still also talking to somebody if you need to talk to somebody. Like, that's our big thing as well. What's next for you? You plan on staying in the Army for a lot longer?
No, I have 4 years left until I can retire. I am just kind of got a cool new job within the military I'm going to keep doing. So more of the same, just at a higher level. I just competed this weekend in a grappling competition. All of the shenanigans I've done thus far in the military. Like, that's the cool thing about special operations is, like, the more you do, the more schools you have, the more you have on your resume, the cooler the things you get to do.
Right.
And that's kind of where I'm at, you know.
So have you been given a bigger leash, you think, to kind of go into the things and the areas that you want to do in the Army as opposed to a more traditional route? And I guess, and also, do you catch any backlash? Do you catch any backlash for how you are on social media and how big you are?
Oh yeah. Who I am as like a celebrity absolutely negatively influences and impacts my military career. It makes everything harder.
Yeah, because a lot of shit you're doing secret squirrel shit. Like, you're doing secret squirrel stuff.
Yeah, but even worse is, you know, everybody aspires to be the gray man in special operations. Like, it's best when nobody even knows your name. Like, you're just like, oh, I forgot you were here. You're like, yeah, awesome. I'm great at my job. If I am someplace, everybody is looking at me. Like, if I'm taking a PT test, or I am shooting, or I'm at an event, you know, like, if it's not easy to be the gray man when you're me.
You know what you should start doing? On all your Instagram videos, you should start blacking out your eyes.
Yeah. Then everyone would know I'm truly legit.
Yeah.
I just blur my face and put the little black bar over my face.
Yeah.
My eyes,
just
so
everything that you do,
I'm
all
really
your videos and
cool.
stuff, they just do black eyes.
Mm-hmm. See, you would think it's funny. I would think it's funny, but everybody else would think I was being serious.
Yeah.
And
Look at me. I'm Tim Kennedy, 500,000 followers with black eyes.
yeah, exactly. We're laughing, but I promise the vast majority of social media would completely believe I was being serious.
Oh, no doubt they were. I mean, if you go into your comments and read just some of your normal post comments, some of those people that follow you, Tim, they're crazy. Care to comment?
They're insane.
Tim, this is going to be my last question. How
Yeah.
do I get abs like you?
Oh, God, Connor.
Ooh. So in 2009, I was in South America with 7th Group, and I went to Brazil, and male implants are a big thing down there. I was able to use embassy money, and I got bicep, chest, calf, and ab implants.
There you go.
So everything that you see on me in photos shirtless are actual implants from when I was in Copacabana, Brazil.
Oh, so I just got to go to Brazil. Simple enough. Thank you.
And I have one question.
that's it.
We actually just set this interview up with you because we really wanted to get your dad on to tell the Pablo Escobar story. Can you text me his number whenever we are done?
Yeah, so my dad is way better on a phone call than I am, and way more interesting of a human than I am. So he's also way nicer.
That sounds lovely.
I'm a gorilla. I'm the midget. I'm the midget in my family.
Really?
I am the runt that they thought if we were in Sparta, they would have thrown me off the cliff. They're like, oh, look at your dad, you're amazing. Look at your brother, he's amazing. They're like, look at all of your uncles, they're amazing. And they're like, what's wrong with this little ogre kid? He's okay. Let's drown him in the ocean. He shall not fight for us. That's what would happen.
All right, Tim. Well,
my
thanks,
family.
man. Enjoy your training tonight. Shoot him straight.